Today we're going to talk about why the first season of The Amazing Digital Circus might wrap up the story for good, and we'll also dive into the most likely fates of our favorite characters. After the pilot episode dropped, the indie animation world was turned upside down, reaching insane view counts for a single episode of an indie show. The Amazing Digital Circus is now the most popular and recognizable 3D show in YouTube's history. Even a year after its release, TADC is still huge among fans because of its concept and, above all, its execution. Every episode is like a gem that you want to watch over and over again. The show's success isn't just about YouTube views either, it's everything surrounding the digital circus. The show's merch, in particular, is a big deal. It drops not just with new episodes, but even between them, and it's been going strong. This only means the plush Pomni, Jax, Kane, and the rest of the characters are in demand, and the creators know it. But will TADC keep going forever, or at least for 2 to 3 seasons? Or will the first season's finale be our last goodbye to this show? Let's break it down. We can get a lot of answers from Gooseworx and her Tumblr. A fan once asked Goose, "Is there any chance at a Digital Circus Season 2, or is it a limited series?" Goose's answer? Pretty blunt. I don't really think there could be a Season 2. Gooseworx seems to feel that the first season will do a solid job of getting across the entire meaning of the digital circus, so she doesn't really see a need to stretch it into multiple seasons. And on top of that, she added to her previous post, "I'd like to expand on this and say Glitch is very accommodating to an artist's vision. Liam and I are lucky to be in a position where we can end our shows on our terms based on the stories we want to tell. The timing and place we end our shows are 100% our decisions. Murder Drones wasn't cancelled because of TADC. It ended because Liam felt like he was done with the story. Same goes for TADC. Sure, I could stretch the story out into 5 seasons of filler if I wanted, but I'd rather each episode have meaningful character development, not waste people's time with filler. Glitch lets us tell the stories we want to tell, and I think that's cool." Everyone knows the digital circus has hit such huge levels of popularity that showing up on Netflix was just a matter of time. One post about this event even confirmed that episodes would air on Netflix before episode 9 drops. Of course, this can be explained by the fact that no one's really sure if TADC will get a second season or end with season 1. Still, as an interesting bit, it deserves a mention here. After reviewing all these posts, it's time to dive into my own thoughts on whether The Amazing Digital Circus will continue or wrap up after season 1. The Amazing Digital Circus is undeniably a top contender in indie animation right now. No debate there. But as they say, you should always bow out at your peak, and even the best things are best in moderation. The show made such a bold debut that it'd be a shame for it to fizzle out later on. And knowing Gooseworx already has all the details and events of upcoming episodes mapped out hints that the entire concept was likely planned as a single season arc. Gooseworx's confidence about this also makes it seem more likely that after the first season, we may not see more of the digital circus, with episode 9 serving as the perfect finale. Though this show has become a huge part of my life, with me constantly staying up to date on every new detail to share with you, I'd actually be content with it ending this way. It'd be better than dragging it out and risking it becoming repetitive or empty. Sure, they could release 5 seasons, adding new characters and settings, but that wouldn't be the show Gooseworx initially envisioned when The Amazing Digital Circus was born. So let's wait for episode 9, and once it's out, we can really assess whether there's room for more, or if the story has truly come to a close. But I'm standing firm on my belief that the digital circus should exit gracefully, and I genuinely hope it won't be stretched out just for the sake of it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Drop a comment, and I'll make sure to respond to the most interesting ones. Let's dive into what we might see in the final episode of The Amazing Digital Circus's first season. Pomni's the character that's really become the heart of the digital circus, and of course the main protagonist too.
What's going on? I put on some weird headset and now I'm here. Who are you people? Why can't I take it off? Oh, okay, now I get it! This is a dream, and I should just play along until I wake up, right?
Even though a new character will take the spotlight as the main character up until episode 6, the primary focus and storyline will still revolve around Pomni. We can see her state of mind improving with each episode.
I know Kane sometimes likes to reuse NPCs. Got everything ready. Hey, you at least want to join us for Kaufmo's funeral?
So what was it like being stuck with the nutcase?
It wasn't that bad, actually.
So, by the time episode 9 drops, Pomni's mental state might end up looking a lot like the Regatha we know. Happy and full of life.
What did any of that mean?
Oh, that's just one of Kane's little adventures. They're just something fun to do to, prevent us from going insane. Oh, and don't worry about the whole abandoning me for the exit thing. It's perfectly understandable what you were going through at the time, and there's no hard feelings. You're all good. Oh, this place is spooky. I wonder how hard Kane's gonna go with the scare factor.
But there's always a catch, and for Pomni, that bitter reminder is the pilot episode, especially that mysterious door that seems like it'll haunt her right up to the end of episode 9, even if we don't see it directly. The pilot episode also clued us in on how people actually end up in the digital circus, but even more important, it hinted that there's a way out. So, in theory, each character could make it back to their real lives. But for everyone except Pomni, that idea seems to have faded into the background. I also want to show you an interesting part of the pilot episode that blew everyone's minds a year ago. I'm curious if you'll notice anything strange in this scene.
I didn't mean to leave you behind like that. Just look at my hand. I didn't know what to do.
It's okay. What you need to do right now is find Kane. He'll be able to fix me up and take care of Kaufmo.
Okay.
Of course I'm talking about that moment when Pomni's glitching hand suddenly stopped as soon as Kane was mentioned, as the only one able to reverse the abstraction process. This sparked loads of theories suggesting that Pomni might actually be one of the administrators, or even the creator, of the digital circus. Though we haven't confirmed or debunked this theory yet, just knowing that the circus has an exit is thrilling. I'm almost 100% sure that this will come into play in episode 9, and we might even see most of the characters leave the circus tent for good. That could be the perfect end to their amazing adventures that we've been so excited to follow.
What's all this stuff?
Pomni, are you okay? Well, what happened?
Yeah, I'm fine. I made a new friend.
Boss, where have you been? We got fudged.
You don't want to know. Good to see you, lads.
Don't worry, Gangle, I'll get it for you!
My name is Baron Theodore Mildenhall. Hunting has been a hobby of mine for as long as I can remember, although one could say it eventually became more of an obsession. The creature you see before you is one I've been pursuing for years.
I didn't say almost all would leave the digital circus by accident. Of course, Pomni, Regatha, Jax, Zubul, and Gangle will definitely want out. But when it comes to Kinger, I have serious doubts. He's no longer the young guy he was in his 20s. He's already 48, and, on top of that, he's the most deeply scarred character among them.
Right after my wife had abstracted. I don't recall the exact string of events, but we both ended up in the fort together.
I doubt he'd want to change anything, honestly. The digital circus has become something familiar and comfortable for him, and stepping back into the real world, a place undoubtedly scarier than the circus, would be a challenge he's probably not prepared for, especially given his mental state.
Ah! Oh! Gangle, you startled me.
Two most mentally stable and capable characters to be paired together.
Well, that wraps up our discussion on this topic, and let's end this video on a positive note. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment. Looking forward to seeing you all in new videos, which come out almost every day on this channel.